They are already a established
Okay.
company in specialty. They are already established company in specialty lubricants. They make high-end
Okay.
lubricants, and they were in talks with us for quite some time for the general application greases and general application gear oils.
Okay.
Manufacturing these type of greases, which is a food quality but cheap, and which is applicable in larger quantities, that
Okay.
is a little bit expensive in Germany. So they were exploring whether it can be manufactured here in India and whether they can take it back to Germany.
Mm-hmm.
So we had sent them samples. Those samples have been approved. Now they have come to look at the plant.
Good,
So
good, very good.
so if everything goes,
Philip, let me introduce the person who is going to the anchor this particular interaction is Professor Dr. Badal Rath. He is there. He is a professor in marketing. Then our old colleague and old friend, Professor Siva Prasad Padi, who is a cost accountant and a practitioner. So now I am giving to Professor Badal Rath to start the formal seminar. Professor Badal Rath, please.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, sir.
good morning.
So it is a pleasure to have you here. I would like to welcome you all to this webinar conducted by IMS Incubation Center.
Sir, your voice is not audible, sir.
Okay.
Your voice is not audible.
Is it better now?
Yeah, it's better.
Great.
Yeah,
Thank
it's
you.
better.
Thank you. So we are delighted and honored to have with us a highly successful entrepreneur, Mr. Phillip Mathew, sir, who is the managing director of Mangalam Lubricants Private Limited. Mangalam Lubricants Private Limited was originally started as Mangalam Chemicals by late Mr. MP Mathew, which was
Sir,
then
still it is not audible. Badal sir, please.
okay.
Or please use the earphone.
Okay.
It's not audible, sir.
Okay.
This is a big problem. अकू ये प्रॉब्लम है, मेरा फोन पे फोन आता है ना, ये हो जाता है.
Sir, is it fine now?
Yes, sir.
Is it better now?
Now it is better.
Okay.
अच्छा, ये कभी आ नहीं रहा है.
So I'm now using a headset. Okay. Mangalam Lubricants Private Limited was originally started as Mangalam Chemicals by late Mr. MP Mathew, which was then converted into a limited company, with the present managing director being Mr. Phillip Mathew. The company specializes in the manufacturing of high quality lubricants and grease for use in automobiles, agriculture, and industrial applications under the brand name Mangold. For the past 40 years, it is also offering all types of lubricant solutions and waste management, and also technology transfers both in India and abroad. We welcome you, Mr. Phillip Mathew, sir, to this online webinar. We are now ready to begin the session, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Badal. That's so nice of you. A very warm good morning to all the students of IMIS and all the professors present here. I don't want to take any names because I may be missing some names. It's a pleasure to be with the Association of IMIS, because IMIS is a very old and very known and quite close to my heart, because when my brother started institute, it was IMIS who had come forward and mentored my brother Thomas. So I'm really very thankful and giving me this opportunity to address the students of IMIS. It is a big honor for me. Thank you, Dr. Beria, and all the professors of IMIS. Now, should I start off, or is there any other formalities, Dr. Beria?
Nothing about your success story and the challenges you are facing. That's it.
Okay. So first of all, the credit goes to my father, late MP Mathew, who started this business, and he started while he was doing his job. So that is the biggest highlight, I would say. And hats off to you, hats off to my father, who had dared to venture and start this in a very, very small way, with almost nil, I would say, almost nil capital. It's a long story. My father was a person who was always on the lookout for business. He was a visionary, I would say. He never wanted, he was not very happy with the job that he was doing, mainly because he always had to, interact with such bosses with whom he always had contradictions of views and opinions. He had his own opinions of doing work, and his boss had a different opinion, which was always he was not liking. That was number one. And number two, he had a very tough life during his childhood, and he had a very tough time getting a job. So getting a job was so tough for him that the intervening period of nearly 3.5 to 4 years when he was jobless, he suffered a lot. That's a big story behind it. And he had to, almost go hungry certain times of during that intervening period. So he had always thought that I should do something which would help my generations not to seek job anywhere, and they can feed for themselves, and they can in fact give job to others. That was the main point behind what he always thought, and what he always tried to get into business. Now that is a long story. Trying to get into business is not very easy, because as you all know, doing business and doing it successfully is two different things. So he started off with many things. I don't want to get into all those things, but all those businesses, while he was working as a employee, he tried it out. He had the courage to try it out, and every time he failed, and every time he again used to stand up and do another business. So that's how almost, I would say, 8 or 10 businesses he did. He tried, he failed, and finally one fine morning when he started this re-refining business, it was a story behind a story itself, how he started this business, because he had no idea and he had no inkling of what re-refining of used oil is. Now I would like to just for the students just give a small background of what re-refining of used oil is. Whenever we use our vehicle, there's some oil that is put in the engine. This is to lubricate the engine, and after a certain period of time, that oil becomes black. So it has got many names. It's sometimes called black oil. It's sometimes called burnt oil. In Hindi, it is called jala mobil, and different names are there for this oil. So this oil generally is discarded away, and in the West, it was being termed as a hazardous waste, because if it is thrown into rivers or into nalas, that will go and pollute the water, and it is a danger for the marine life. And the science behind re-refining is that this oil actually does not get as in Hindi you say jalamobil, it does not get burnt. It only gets contaminated. So when it gets contaminated, you just need to remove the contaminants and it becomes as good as a new oil. So it is something like we wearing a shirt, and the shirt, after wearing the whole day, it gets contaminated with our sweat and dust and other contaminants. So you just need to wash it, take it through ironing and taking it through the drying process, and you can reuse the shirt the next day. You don't need to throw the shirt and buy a new shirt. So it's something of that sort. I mean, I have tried to explain it in a very, very simple way. My father, he had to learn this the hard way. And when he started it in 1980, within 2 years, while learning, he lost his entire money. So by that time, I was in college, and I also jumped into his business for helping him out, because at that time it was needed. Without my help, it was very difficult. So from 82 onwards, it was a journey for me. And today, 82, it's nearly 40 years, more than 40 years, in fact. So all these 40 years, we have been able to nurture this industry. We have grown it into a known brand. We have come out of re-refining. We are now into blending of those re-refined products. We manufacture different greases. We are manufacturing specialty oils like cutting oils and rust preventive oils, wire rope oils, apart from the regular engine oils and all those things. So now, of course, in these 30, 40 years, there were a lot of challenges. Main challenges was, of course, the technological changes that happened in these 40 years. We had to face almost 3 waves of changing our different processing technologies. That itself was a big challenge for us. So in fact, it's a journey. Still, we are going ahead. The journey is still continuing. And for any MSME, I would say that it would always be like this. Challenges would be there as regards, in our case, particularly, we had a big challenge of getting our used oil, which is the raw material, how to collect the used oils, how to bring it to one place, and how to re-refine in a proper manner, in an environmentally safe manner, which is sustainable, and which does not, the different byproducts that come out of the re-refining, that should not damage the environment. So we have to bring in those technologies which will eliminate whatever harm that it would be doing. So it was a big challenge coming out through all those things. We had to take the help of a lot of people. Central Pollution Control Board was there, then the Ministry of Environment and Forest was there, our local Jharkhand Pollution Control Board is there. So that was one big challenge that we had overcome. Then another big challenge that we faced was when the central excise and VAT got converted to GST. So that was a big change that happened. GST, when it came in, it almost killed the micro and small industries. So it was God's grace that we were prepared from the very beginning. We were knowing that these kind of changes are coming, and we had prepared ourselves. We got ourselves registered with the GST. We got all the rules in place. In fact, our branch officers were not too ready. We got them also into the main picture, and we saw to it that the transition was smooth. And by the time GST came, we were ready and we got into it. So in these 40 years, I would say that when you are running an MSME, the biggest, I would say one thing one has to be always be ready is that failures would be there. We have to expect that you cannot always be successful. I mean, the failures would be there. But after that failure, getting up and again start running, that is the biggest challenge, and that is the grit that one needs to have. And if you have that grit inside you, that come whatever may, I will get up and I will again start running. then I think there's no one who can stop you. You will always be going ahead, and you will be successful. And I think almost that was my case. I fell down, I think not one, not twice, not thrice. In these 40 years, I may have fallen down maybe 15 or 20 times. And all the time, I would say that, okay, let me see what else we can do. In 1989, there was a fire in our factory. The whole factory got gutted. And we thought this is the end. We can't do anything else. But yes, as I told you, me and my father, we got up. We said, okay, let's build a new factory. So that's how we shifted to the new place that we are there in Hardag today. We said it took us almost 6 months of struggle, but again we did not leave it. जैसे हिंदी में बोलते हैं हार नहीं मानना. So we got up and we started a new factory, and we again back to square one. We started going off. So there were a lot of challenges, and we tried to overcome. Every time we fall, we used to get up and we used to run. That's how we faced our challenges, Dr. Beria.
Philip, like what problems you faced during COVID specifically? Because during COVID, everybody got into a lot many problems. So what kind of problems you faced in lubricant industry during this COVID time of almost close to 2 years?
The biggest challenge during the COVID initial days was the lockdown itself. The lockdown had imposed a big burden on our company, because almost 2 months we had to face all the expenses without having any income. So that was one big challenge that we had to face, number one. And especially during those 2 months, we had to, not only save our lives, but to save the lives of our employees, as well as save the company itself. So 2 months was a big nightmare. We don't know how we got through it. It was just Almighty's biggest grace that the 2 months we got through. Then later on, new challenges started coming up due to COVID. There were restrictions on transportation. There were shortages of containers for import and export. The shipping charges that had gone through the roof. Exports had gone totally unviable. Then our employees themselves, they started falling sick. But that was a good thing that happened, that we had got almost all our employees vaccinated as soon as the vaccinations were available. And we had requested the government to hold a camp in our area. And through the camp, we got all our employees vaccinated. So that was one good factor that we could do for our employees, due to which many of them who fell sick, they did not turn critical, and they came out of their sicknesses one by one. Unfortunately, we lost one employee of ours in COVID. He was our storekeeper and a very hardworking person. He fell ill during the COVID period. But it was almost a month he had to go through, but unfortunately he could not be saved. That was a big, we also mentally we all suffered. And now that his wife is also working with us, she is happy. She got a lot of money from the government, as well as we also, whatever we could do, we had done. ESIC also paid some money. Then, under the COVID rules also, he had got some money. So his children are now well off, and his wife recently, she met me. She was very happy in the fact that her children are well placed. Otherwise, another challenge that we faced during COVID period was the migration of my laborers. Some of them, they had gone back to their villages and they were not able to come back because the villagers, they themselves had made some kind of a blockade, and they did not want the people who have come to go back, or they were not allowing other people to come in. So that was one challenge that we had in our village. The village elders, they made a rule that nobody can go out or nobody can come in. So we had to run the factory with less number of people for almost 6 or 7 months. So that was a very big challenging period we had to face, and it's Almighty's grace we got through that. Now those things are almost over, and we are getting labors as required, and things are much better these days. Yeah.
Yeah, Philip, you told like you joined your father's dream and all dream project when you were a student.
Right.
How where you got the energy, like jump into the kind of business which you are not aware of and all. Tell something to the student, because many of them are also interested to become entrepreneur. They want to also face the challenges in the beginning, because you could do as a student. You said like you are in the
Uh,
college and all.
well,
Please.
yes, I basically I did not think twice of what I am doing. It was something like my father started a business. He ran it for 2.5 years, and after 2.5 years, he had given some material on credit to some people, and over a period of 6 months, that credit amount came up to such a big amount that almost his entire uh, capital was out as credit. And then the person who took the credit, he ran away. So there was no way of working, and I saw that my father, either he would become a mad person, or otherwise I will have to come and help him out. So it was a do or die sort of thing. So do or die, in a do or die situation, uh, even as a student, I never thought what I'm going to do or what is my future, what is my destiny. Without thinking anything, I just jumped in just to save my family. That is the truth. But this will not be applicable for all the students, and I would advise the students that you have to have a dream. If you have a dream that I want to do something on my own, if you have that dream, then only you should mentally prepare yourself to come in for this MSME. Now, what kind of a dream you have? What is the purpose of the dream? What is you are your what's your what do you want out of your dream? This should be very, very clear. That, I would just like to say a few things from which you can make your own choice. Like, number one, when you are jumping into an MSME, or you want to do a startup, or you want to do your own business, you must understand that you are going to be the master of your own destiny. That is one big plus point that you are going to have, that you will be the master of your own destiny. Now that motivates you enough, then you should definitely you should jump into it. So that's one thing, that you are the master of your own destiny. Number two is that you can take it as far as you want. Like when you are in a job, maybe you will join as a trainee, and from the trainee you will go up in the business. But then there is a limit till which you can go. Not everybody can become the managing director of your company or the chairman of the company. So that will be very, very limited. So even in the job, there are many limitations. Here, there is no limits. You can take it as far as you want. So that is the second point, which can be a part of your dream. Then third thing is that you can choose the people with whom you want to work. Like as I told my father, he never had a good boss. He always used to keep fighting with his boss. So in your organization, you can choose your people. If you you can choose the right people with whom you want to work. So that is in your hands. That is one way you can enjoy doing what you want to do, and you can choose those people. If you don't want, maybe you can you can remove. You have the power to remove. It's in your hands. So if this is a point which is your dream, which if you want to control your destiny through these points, then you should naturally come forward. Then one more thing you can always, you should know is that if you are jumping into your startup, and once the startup takes off, you are going to contribute a lot to the economy. You will be generating a lot of revenue for the government. So if that you a kick, you are going to contribute, you are going to generate a lot of employment. A lot of people, like now in my organization, we have more than 100 people in my organization, which means directly 100 families are being benefited. And indirectly, almost another 3 to 400 through all the used oil collectors, their aggregators, then my distributors, their employees. If you take the entire indirect employment would be, I think, more than 500 or even 700, 800. I really need to do a calculation for that. It's a huge number. So if that gives you a kick, if that is your dream, you should generally, like jump into it. And that sense of accomplishment would be there. Your self-worth would be going up. So these are the points which should be considered for the students, is what I believe.
Yeah, Philip, like one more thing I would like to know for our student, like,
Yeah.
do you face any problem in competitions, marketing, supply chain? Can you just throw some light on that?
See, entrepreneurship is not a cakewalk. Let's understand that. It's not very easy. So that is number one. People, students must know that once you have a dream, once you have a purpose, and what is that purpose, you should be clear about it. As I told you, there are 4-5 points. Those are the purposes. Once you have that, then you should understand is that, and it's not a cakewalk. It's not a very easy thing, but your determination, your grit, your perseverance will take you through. So once you have decided that no, I am going to jump. Achha, one more thing I would like to add is that, there is no time limit. It's not that just now I have to do it. No, you can do it after 5 years. You can do it after 10 years. You can do it after 20 years. So if it is in the back of your mind, you have to, cultivate it. You cultivate your dream. You keep it there in your mind, and at the appropriate time, at the appropriate when you have your sufficient capital, or even if you don't have capital these days, you don't require capital. Your idea is in a stage of fruition, and you are mentally prepared, and you are sufficiently charged up with your dream, then you jump into it. And once you jump into it, you must understand that there is competition, there is challenges. Now, what are those challenges? Number one challenge is that you, like when you are in a job, you are put onto some particular job. Like if you are into marketing, you are concentrating on marketing. Or if you are into, say, suppose accounts, some finance students must be here who would be looking after the accounts of the company. So they don't need to go through anything else. They need to just concentrate on their accounts, on the different ratios and all those things. If there are any technical people out here, engineers who would be put into the factory management, so they will be more into production and doing all the technical side of the company's activities. So, but when you are an entrepreneur, you must gain a 360-degree knowledge. You must have knowledge of everything. You must know production, you must know purchase, you must know marketing, you must know accounting, you must know what HR is, what are the statutory requirements. All these things one must gain knowledge, and it's not very easy. This can come only out of experience, and this can come only out of your how much strongly committed you are, how much you want to be committed, and you want to make your company successful. Only then this knowledge comes. Otherwise, you will not gain this knowledge. So you have to, number one challenge is that you have to have a 360-degree knowledge, number one. Then number two is that you have to come out of your comfort zone. There's a comfort zone for everybody. So you must be ready to come out of that comfort zone. So you have to be mentally prepared that, see, I'm getting 1 lakh rupees or 50,000, whatever, I mean, salary that you are getting. That is a comfort zone that you are having. Here, there is no one who will be giving you a guarantee that I will give you 50,000 rupees every month, or I'll give you 1 lakh rupees every month, or 2 lakhs rupees every month. No. So, and comfort zone means you have to come out of your office, you have to come out, maybe you have to go to a new place, or there are a lot of, comfort zone. When I'm saying it's a wide term, you have to be ready to get yourself muddied out. You have to get into it, and you have to understand every aspect, competition, your pricing, your strategy for marketing, your idea itself. All these things are there. But only don't forget one thing, as I have told you earlier, failure will be there. Failure is not about falling, but it's about getting up and moving ahead. So this is what I would like to tell the students.
Last but not the least, Philip, like
Yeah.
the team from Germany visiting, can you throw some light on that? Like, what is the purpose, the visit your plant, and what kind of MOU are going to sign? What is that? Today's visit, people
Okay.
from Germany.
Well, MOU is a little bit far off. We are still to reach there. We are in talk with this company. They are already into a lubricant company. They are specialty lubricants company of Germany. I had visited their factory in Hamburg. They are Hamburg based company, and I have seen their facilities. I have seen their products. It's an amazing company, very good company. They are looking for certain greases which in Germany they don't make. And in Germany, they, as we all know, Germans, they are very, they are very particular about the quality and the hardiness of anything. Like when they make a machine, that will be the strongest machine that you can get in the world. The German machines will never break down. So it's like that. So they have made such greases and such lubricants which outlast everybody else's products. They outlast. But the flip side is, the other side of that coin is that their products are very costly, and it's difficult for them to market it everywhere, or market it as a everyday product. So they saw in our products that these people make good products. They are quality is also not bad. Quality is good, and the quality, along with the quality, the price is also very good. And they are, marketing. They are very successfully marketing in India. So why not introduce their products in Germany? This is the basic, thought process that they went through. Then they got our samples. They tested it in their German laboratories. They took it through some field trials, and they found that our greases are reasonably working, in the sense that not to the extent that their greases are working. Their greases are very costly. But in comparison to their greases, our greases would be very cheap. So they saw that in Germany itself, there is some niche market where our greases can be, explored to be marketed. So that's how this whole program came in. So I had been to their factory. Now they are coming. They got all our products shipped to Germany. They got it tested. They are now sure that our products are very good. Now they are coming to see our manufacturing facilities, whether that is up to their standards. If anything needs to be changed, they would be giving us the advice. They would be telling us that these are the changes that we would like to see, and they will give us 2 or 3 months time, and we need to change. Then we will be going through another visit around March or April. I think around April or April end, they were telling us. So after that, we would be having the MOU.
Yeah, Philip, for your information, we are a small customer of your company as you are buying through Thomas, yeah, for our DG engine oil and all this grease
Okay.
and all, we are buying it.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you. Mango. Our
Thomas,
brand is Mango brand.
yeah, Mango. Thomas' friend is raising hand. Professor Shiv Prasad Padi. Professor, go ahead.
Sir, namaskar.
Namaskar, sir. Namaskar.
Great opportunity to listen to you. In fact, I have visited your factory with Thomas sir. Thomas sir used to be my teacher. He taught us when I was pursuing my final of CMA. And
Uh,
even today, he is a teacher, come friend, philosopher, guide, well-wisher, everything to me. Sir, I have four questions, and really, it will help me, to learn from you. One is relating to the government schemes. Government has floated many schemes like Atmanirbhar for to uplift the MSMEs. So you
correct.
being an MSME existing for last 4 decades, do you really take a benefit of all those government schemes which government provide? To what extent actually in the real life MSMEs get benefit out of such schemes announced either in the budget or separately to deal with COVID challenges and all? That was my first question. Second is, sir, banks also talk about helping MSMEs in various schemes including CGTSME and other schemes where in line with the government direction, they extend handholding support in form of various rate reduction or extending additional loan. Do they really extend it to MSMEs like you because you are existing for more than 4 decades? And how, what changes?
There's a loss of
Yeah.
voice.
So whatever he has asked, you can continue.
Yeah, Padias, yeah, Padia Saab has bombarded me with a lot of questions. So let me try to pick up one by one, whichever I am able to recollect. Number one, I believe, is that he was asking about the various schemes of the government and whether those schemes are beneficial to the MSMEs. So here I would say that definitely the schemes are beneficial for the MSMEs. There is no doubt about it. And whether we actually get it, yes, there also those MSMEs who are really, as I told you, government doing business with government is not easy. So you have to have certain perseverance. You have to be you have to be after it. So if you have perseverance, then MSMEs are getting it also. The thing is that there is like a lot of news in the market or in the newspapers every day. We can hear that government is doing a lot of help to the MSMEs. It is true, government is trying to do a lot of things for the MSMEs. There is no doubt about it. But actually, what happens? The rosy picture that the government is showing, that is not to that extent. Government has got limited money. In that limited money, say suppose they are earmarking 1 lakh crore of rupees for the MSMEs. There are many sectors. There are many different classes of MSMEs, the sectors of MSMEs, and they will be dividing small amounts among these sectors. So these amounts, when it is being added, then it is becoming a big amount. So the government is projecting that big amount to the people. So it is the entire gamut of schemes that is being explained to the people. So that becomes a big amount. But when you come to the nitty-gritty, the amount is actually smaller. It's not that big. Now here, there's two things that we need to understand. MSMEs are being encouraged to improve upon their technologies. They are being asked to adopt those technologies that is adopted worldwide, and to do away with all the old-fashioned way of working, for which there is a subsidy, which is called a CLCSS, Credit Linked Capital Subsidy Scheme. and that is for mostly for adoption of technology. So that is one big area that MSMEs are being benefited. Then the small MSMEs who do not have any collateral to address, collateral they cannot give. So they have that just now, as doctor was telling about CGT MSE. Now here the problem is with the banks. The banks, they don't want to give collateral free loans. So the MSME will have to go and tell the banks, ये मेरा हक है, आप कैसे नहीं दोगे. So when you start using that kind of a language, then they do give. So we have received a lot of complaints from many MSMEs that the banks are not forthcoming. We gave complaints to the RBI, and when the complaint goes, then the banks are, they run after us, and then they say that नहीं, आप ले लो, ऐसा कर लो, वैसा कर लो. So थोड़ा सा awareness की जरूरत है. It is always like a aware citizen would be getting all the benefits. ये कहते ही है ना, this we all know about it. So awareness, you should know your rights. You should know what are the various schemes of the government. You should know what are the rules behind those schemes. There are many rules that govern these schemes. So if you are following all the rules, if you keep it is beneficial and nobody can stop. Big complaint is there that people are not getting, people are being made to run around. That is basically because you are not aware of the rules, you are not aware of your rights, and people apply for wrong schemes. So these are the big problems with MSMEs. You should be, your students are there, your students, if you talk about any particular scheme, I can tell you what are the, the details of those schemes. So professors are there, you have to explain to the students, these are the rules, this is the criteria, you have to follow, you should not, deviate from any of these things, then nobody can stop you. Nobody can say that I will not give you. It's your right. You have to get it.
Sir, two more issues. In fact, I cannot resist myself, from not asking. Said
Please,
that
please,
you
go
had
ahead.
a big fire accident. You had a big fire accident somewhere during the late 90s or 80s, and you could recover by altogether constructing a new factory. I have visited that factory, sir. I had the opportunity to visit that new factory. Sir, my question is, how do you manage risk? There are many external and internal risks to which you as a factory or a business establishment is exposed to, insurance being one. So what are the various kind of insurance risk plan that you take? Usually, in a nutshell, you can tell. And sir, last question is GST. Of course, you mentioned about GST, how it was a change shift from the earlier tax regime. Now things are settled to a great level. I practice more in GST area. I just want to know, sir, is it the compliance part and the system, the network or system part is all established, settled by now? And are you also, have you also faced any kind of litigation in form of show cause notice or violation of any provision, or you think that you have, complied to the rules and they are still normal for MSMEs like you?
Okay, thank you. You have two questions. Number one is about the how we have to, the risk part, how we have to manage the risk part. So before I go into the details of how to manage the risk part, as I told you, told the students earlier, that you must have to gain a 360-degree knowledge. And gaining a 360-degree knowledge, saying is very easy, but everything comes through experience. My experience, and through my experience, I would like to advise the students that kabhi bhi kuch bhi kaam karo. If you want to do anytime, anywhere, anything, take 1 rupee loan. You may be having your money, you may be having sufficient capital, but take 1 rupee loan. That 1 rupee loan, मेरा कहने का मतलब 1 rupee नहीं है. Nobody will give you a 1 rupee loan. Take a small loan from the bank. What happens? The bank will make you do all the paperwork which will protect you from all the risk that might happen and which you have never thought of. Okay, So this is one single advice that I would give to the students कि जितना risk है, जितना भी risk हम लोग को समझ में नहीं आएगा, whatever we don't know, we cannot even imagine कि ऐसा कुछ हो भी सकता है. All those risks, bank takes care through you only. It's not that bank will be paying from their pocket. Bank will take money from you. They will debit your account, but they will make you do because they don't want to lose their money. So if they're protecting their money makes you protect your money. So this is a very simple theory that I would like to tell the students. कभी भी कोई भी time में, even if you are buying a personal property, आप अपना personal property भी खरीद रहे हो, आपके पास पैसा है, you have the money, you are buying a flat for say 25 lakhs rupees and you have got 50 lakhs in your pocket, so there is no need to take a loan. But I would advise go and take 5 lakhs rupees and you prepay it in 2 years, no problem. But when you apply to the bank for that 5 lakh of loan, the bank will ask you so many papers of the property that those papers which your lawyer has never told you that this is one thing that you should have done, bank will make you do it. So that is the biggest way of, I would say, risk management.
Now, Mr. Phillip, I would like to add, Mr. Phillip,
Yeah.
this is an example of IMIS. When we have taken bank loan, then they pressurized us to go for insurance. They say you have to do insurance and all. And we did it. You cannot believe, after that funny happened, that cyclone, funny. And we got 15 lakhs from the insurance.
Yes.
In the funny, this entire campus was damaged like anything. And we got 15 lakhs from the insurance company for which we could restore it. So this is an action, what you have suggested. It's a good thing, really.
This is what I have suggested is out of my experience. What I have suggested is out of my experience. When my factory got burnt down in 1989, at that time, we never thought of doing an insurance. And in fact, I never knew that my factory was insured at that point of time. I never knew. It was the bank who had insured all my assets, all my plant and machinery, all the stock, everything the bank had insured, and they had debited the insurance money from my account. That is another thing. But they had got it insured, and that insurance saved us. The money that we got from the insurance was enough at that time to set up a new factory. Of course, we had to take some little loan also, but that insurance saved us.
Yeah, Phillip, last question you can reply so that we can wind up. Phillip.
Yes, regarding the GST. See, GST is an evolving law. It's still evolving. Of course, a lot of things have been settled down. Now, many of the initial queries are over, initial hiccups are over, and I would say that it's almost settled, but it's still there. The main point of disputes that's coming in is regarding the input credits. The input credits that people are taking, and the law behind how you can take, how much you can take, and in which cases you cannot take, and all those things. So that is one area which is still evolving. People are still learning those things. In my case, thankfully, we have not had any litigation till now. We have understood the rules, and we every month we go in for those input reversals, those which are not eligible, in which my seller has not given a return, which is not reflecting on my 3B. Such kind of inputs we are reversing, and till date we have not faced any kind of litigations or any kind of problems with the GST department.
Right.
Things are still evolving.
Sir, you can go with vote of thanks because Phillip is very busy today. He has to go. He had given me 45 minutes. It's almost 1 hour.
Okay. Sir. So we had a couple of students' questions, but most of them are addressed by questions.
I can take 1 or 2 questions max.
Yeah, please. Yeah,
Okay.
Badal sir,
Okay.
please.
Okay, this is related to marketing. One is right, where Mongol as a brand, right, specializing in presence in India, right? How you are competing with global brands like BP and Petronas? That is one question. Second is on the counterfeit and duplicate products which are available in the market. So these are the two questions the students are asking.
Okay, so we are trying to take our products a little bit on a higher level. We are in talks with the Shell company. Shell is a multinational company, and we are in talks with them. There is some good progress with Shell. Recently, Mangalam and Shell, we have jointly we worked with Mahindra, and we have successfully got Mahindra's to approve those products which are made out of recycled oils. So that is one big effort we are going through. Counterfeit and those duplicate products is India, or I would say Asia problem. It's a real problem. Yes, we have to go in for certain police actions at times. We need to be vigilant. We have to be very careful. And that problem is Mangal also had a problem for some time in a certain area, but it's more prevalent in brands like Servo and Castrol. So they are very vigilant. They call in the police whenever they get a notice or whenever they get some knowledge of things happening in the wrong way. So it's a problem. Yes, it's a problem, but I think it's a police problem, and it's being taken care of by the companies. So before I wind up, for the students, I would add one more point which I forgot to tell them. From you having a passion and you having a perseverance and all these things, you have to be very ethical. I forgot to say about ethical. Whenever you do business, you should answer yourself whether what I am doing, is it the right thing or not, and do only what your soul says. You should be very ethical towards the government, towards all the stakeholders, your employees, your suppliers, your buyers, everybody, and you should do, or you should whatever you have promised. Suppose you are saying that this product contains such and such things, it should contain. Be ethical. This is my last message to the students. You will always be successful.
Great, Mr. Phillip, great. Sir, please go ahead.
Thank you, sir. It has been an honor to be a part of this wonderful event. On behalf of the entire MS family and the Institution Innovation Council, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed speaker, Mr. Phillip Mathew, sir, for taking out your time and from the busy schedule to speak on this entrepreneur's journey. Hope this discussion will help students to become future budding entrepreneurs. Thank you, sir. Sincere thanks to our chairman, sir, Dr. K.K. Vaidya, sir, who has provided the needful guidance and support to make this event a successful one. Finally, I would like to thank all the faculty members and students, right, for their participation in this webinar. Thank you all. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Phillip, namaskar.
Thank you once again. Thank you
Phillip,
all of
namaskar.
you.
मम्मी को नमस्कार दे देना.
हाँ, एकदम बिल्कुल.
Yes.
Yes. बिल्कुल. Thank you so much. And whenever you are in Ranchi, please do stay with us.
No, I've gone a couple of times to your place. I stayed there.
Yes, I have fond memories.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All the best. Thank you.
Okay, bye.